On this episode of Saturday Garage, I got a cameo from Freiburger.
I come in at the end with the bad news.
It's bad news. It's not good news. What's up, party people? Happy Saturday and welcome to Saturday Garage. This is going to be a channel where I show you just how much you can get done in the driveway in a single day. This is also going to be a show that keeps me accountable to working on the projects that I need to work on. To set the table just a little bit, up until a few months ago, I was working with MotorTrend and having the time of my life. It was 7 years of the best job I've ever had. Sadly, that all came to an end, and when it did, I realized a couple of things. One, I don't know how to do anything except for make TV. And two, I don't want to do anything except for play with cars. So here's where we're at. MotorTrend handed me lemons. Saturday Garage is my lemonade. Now I have this sort of perfect storm of opportunity. I have a ton of time on my hands. I have a ton of projects, and I have a ton of parts sitting on the shelf. So here's some things you can expect to see on this channel. It's mostly 50s, 60s, 70s, American rear-wheel drive V8 kind of stuff. In this episode, you're going to see a 57 Chevy Panel Truck that was at one point on Hot Rod Garage for a few episodes. It has a bad motor, it needs a new one. You're also going to see my 67 C10, which was also on Hot Rod Garage at a point. It has an okay motor, but it needs a better one. Also from Hot Rod Garage, you'll see a 73 Duster with a terrible motor and a Plymouth Voyager Turbo 5-speed minivan. I have a couple of more oddball things, like the minivan. I have a 2000 Acura Integra GSR that was all-wheel drive swapped on an episode of Super Street Garage that never aired. I have a 65 Beetle. I have my high school car, a 72 Chevelle. I have this. It's a 2000 Beamer wagon. It's a 528i that I really, really want to LS swap, but I'm honestly probably not going to. I have a 73 El Camino SS 454 big block car that I bought with Freiburger just for the sole purpose of flipping. You see that very soon. So I have a smattering of stuff. My current roster is 9 cars, which is entirely too many, but I am firmly of the belief that a car on the road is worth 2 in the factory, and that keeping an older car on the road for longer is actually more environmentally beneficial than driving something new with good gas mileage. The car is already made. Use it till it's useless. So that's the Cliff Notes of Saturday Garage. That's the Spark Notes or the TLDR, depending on when you went to high school. Like I said, this is going to be about what I can get done in a single day. Special caveat, these first few episodes I already shot, they took way more than a day, so we're not quite on format yet. Also, if you care to support, like, subscribe, comment, do all those things. And if you turn on your notifications, you will get an alert every time that I post something new. I'm trying to do it every week, but you know, doing this as a one-man gig it's a boatload of work. I might miss some weeks. Okay, and this is that truck I'm talking about. It is a 1957 Chevrolet Panel Truck. Do not let those windows fool you. It is a panel, not a Suburban. Somebody cut those in way back in the day, but I gotta say, they did a damn fine job. They look good. Anyway, in here is a 383 cubic inch, 470 horsepower. It is known as the Ultimate Average 383 from its time on Engine Masters. That is hurt. We will get to that in a little bit, but that is going to come out, and in its place, we are putting this 290 horsepower of crate motor that got pulled out of that truck way back there. Anyway, that's not important. That is going to go in. It's going to be a decent driver is all I am after. It is stock suspension, stock steering, very wobbly. It doesn't need 470 horse anyway. Now, this is not going to be a step-by-step how-to by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like if you're clicking on this, you're probably not signing up to learn how to do a small block swap. But if you are and you want to see that, I'm going to put a link in the description. That is going to be a much more how-to version of this. But this right now will be a montage. So a lot of this channel is also going to be me figuring out how to be a TV guy without any like guidelines or constraints from like networks or regular TV storytelling. And one of the things that I'm drawing from a ton on this first episode is this dude that Freiberger showed me on YouTube. His name is Simon Fordman. Once you're done watching a bunch of my stuff, go watch his. It's awesome. He's got 0 words spoken in the entire thing. They're like 2 hours long, and they just tell you a story with the visuals. It is every nut and bolt, which I'm clearly trying to do here. It's really cool. It's an enormous labor. I am currently recording this as a voiceover, after having tried to edit this video for 2 weeks, combined time of probably a solid week. The truck still isn't done because I've been spending so much time editing, but I think it's super cool. It's a great end product. I don't know if you guys are going to enjoy it. I hope that you do, but frankly, this is not going to endure. I do not have the ability to shoot every episode like this, but credit where credit is due. Mad props to that guy for churning that stuff out constantly. And if you have any tips and tricks on how to do it better, hit me up. Okay, so these are Sanderson headers. These are exhaust gaskets. Sanderson says not to use exhaust gaskets. I had them on here previously. Honestly, it didn't work that well. They took a long time to get seated. It felt like the bolts were constantly loosening and backing back out. I had exhaust leaks frequently. Eventually it got to a point where everything was fine, but it took a while to get there. What Sanderson does recommend is that instead of exhaust gaskets, you take orange RTV and make an 1/8 inch bead all around your exhaust ports. And when you let that cure for 24 hours, that creates a better sealing surface than a traditional gasket. I have never tried that. I am willing to try, but these are pretty beefy flanges, as you can see. And they also have these raised extra beef portions, which is where you are meant to RTV, put that little orange seal around there. So I'm gonna give that a whirl. There's not a whole bunch left here. I need to disconnect a coil and the distributor and a choke, bell housing bolts and motor mounts. Now, this is a good time to phone a friend to get the hood off. So I'm gonna call my dad and I'm gonna call my brother, who both live close, and I'm gonna see what picks up first. One of them will give me a hand getting this hood out. Now, the trick is, the tech tip here is that once your friend is here, they're gonna help you. So they can help you get the hood off, get the cherry picker on, get the motor pulled out, get the new one set in. And if they want to hang out for pizza and beer, they can help you reverse the entire process. But at that point, it's totally a one-man job again. Yeah, just do everything, rinse and repeat it in reverse. Oh, dumb. So as I'm dumping this coolant, feels like a good time to tell you that there is no oil in this coolant. Just regular old watery coolant. It also feels like a good time to tell you that there is no oil in this exhaust. Little sooty, not the end of the world. Now the reason this 383 is coming out is that it has oil problems. It has an oil either consumption or negligence issue. I'm not sure which. Now hear me out. Either this thing was never filled or this oil is miraculously disappearing to somewhere. It's clearly not in the coolant. It is clearly not in the exhaust. It is not on the ground. I can tell you that from really keeping a really solid eye on it. Now, backstory is this. Hot Rod Garage put this motor in this truck. It is a 383 that was from Engine Masters. It's been on the dyno 100 million times. It always does fine. It's a good motor. 470 horsepower, 383 cubic inches. It's the ultimate average 383, and it is a known good motor. So it goes in the truck. We drive it to Bakersfield and back. It's a couple of 100 miles. Does fine. Great oil pressure. No big deal. We park it away for a little while. Comes back a couple episodes later to get suspension and steering and make it a much more predictable driver as it pushes Alex's land speed car at El Mirage. So we do some suspension and steering, we go to El Mirage, and we hammer on this thing in the desert for a full day. No hiccups. Lucky makes no mention of oil pressure. It gets a little bit warm at one point, but no big deal. It drives around, cools right off. So we leave El Mirage, everything is good, great, and grand. It drives fine. A couple of months later, I'm just driving this down the road one day, and I notice it getting a little bit warm, not the end of the world. Also notice the oil pressure is, I think, low. It's at 10 pounds. I thought it ran at like 40 or 60. I didn't realize this truck ran at 10 PSI. Turns out it doesn't. I pulled over in a gas station just to check the oil, which I probably should have done before this, and there's nothing on the dipstick. So I grab a quart of oil, I put it in. Pull the dipstick again, nothing. Second quart goes in, pull the dipstick again, nothing. Third quart goes in, nothing. I ended up putting 5 quarts of oil in this thing. It was bone dry. Fill it up, keep it driving. It's moving just fine. It's got a little bit of a knock developing, and it's not getting hot anymore. I wonder why. So anyway, it's got a mystery oil condition. It's not on the coolant. It's not on the exhaust. It's not on the ground. I don't know where else to look. Hey there, it's me from the future. The cool thing about editing your own YouTube video is that you get to interrupt a scene whenever you want to preempt comments about a discussion point that you totally missed. So here's the deal. Yeah, it probably burned the oil. I get that, but like 5 quarts over 400 miles is a quart every 80 miles. That's insane. You would think I would have seen something in the actual exhaust smoke, but no, it was clean and clear. I didn't even really consider it to be an option, but there are no other options. Point taken. Make your comments anyway. Back to the show. Also, this is Duncan. If you can see him, come here. Also, this is Duncan. He's a foster dog and he's a good boy. If you have a loving home and you're looking for a dog, hit me up. All you got to do is pick him up. Oh, Smoochy. Smoochy. Okay, bye. I got weird at the end. All right, fuck it. But I can't imagine that it never got filled. It survived way too long to have no oil in it. So if you have any thoughts, please drop them in the comments. And or if you came to the MotorTrend warehouse while this thing was sitting and drained my oil, please let me know in the comments. Also, so that's a story. This has got to come out. I want to open up the bottom end. Hopefully it just needs bearings, but it's going to need at least bearings. In the meantime, that much lamer 290 horse used crate motor is going to go in because I need to get this thing out of the way. I need to be able to move it and or drive it, honestly. 290 horse is plenty for it, and I just need to be able to move it out of the way because I have a ton of other projects that I need to get working on, and while I'm unemployed, I need to be using my time wisely. So this has got to go. I've got a C10 that needs some work. I've got a Bug that needs some work. I've got the mini van from HRG. I've got the Duster from HRG. I've got the Integra. I already talked about that one. Whatever. I've got the Integra from Super Street, which you never saw, nobody ever saw. Yeah, I don't know. I got stuff to do. I got to move this thing. Moving forward. Okay, bye. throttle cable really needs to be shortened anyway, so I'm not going to worry about this end right now. I will do that when the new motor is in. On the other hand though, this bracket is a throttle position sensor for my transmission. That's just got to get unplugged. And I will transfer all that over to the new car when it's off the car. Luckily, it is also a 4150 style Holly, so that should be an easy like-for-like swap over. But I do not want to lose that little ferrule on odometer gauges. It's got this little like compressed ferrule situation, and you don't want to lose that inside ball, because then you got to find a new one. I don't know if I'm at risk reusing this, but I'm going to tape it up just in case. Worst case, it leaks and becomes a giant pain that takes too long to fix. So we're just going to tape it up. Here's what I know. I think everything is disconnected except for 1 or 2 bell housing bolts. Electrical all out of the way. Oil pressure. Throttle linkage out of the way. Wiring to starter, wiring to alternator. Fuel lines, cooling. Yeah, I think I have 2 more bell housing bolts, maybe 1. A couple of lower mount bolts for the motor mount proper, and this thing's ready to pull. So while I wait for Dad and or my brother to show up, I want to start moving some accessories from the motor that's in the truck onto this motor here. So this is a known good motor. It's a 350 cubic inch GM Goodwrench crate 290, 210 horsepower, something like that. I'm not really honestly sure. It might be 190. I don't know. It came out of my blue C10 in favor of the big block that's currently in it that we put in on Hot Rod Garage. Prior to that, Freiberger owned it. He had it on Roadkill Garage, where he put a Pro Charger on it. It made like 400 horse, I think. But it survived and isn't a leaky mess, isn't smoky, is still a good motor. Prior to that, prior to Hot Rod Garage, it was sitting on the field forever. Who knows how many miles are on it? I most certainly don't. So despite some questionable history, it is still a good motor. So it's going to go in 290, 210, 190, whatever it is. It's still plenty for this truck.
So now I just need to remove a power steering pump and an alternator and a starter. And then my brother is kind enough to come on by and help me pull this hood off. That's my brother. He used to beat me up a lot when we were kids. He hasn't done it in a long time, even though he totally still could. That's pretty cool of him. Thanks, Steve. His name's Steve, by the way. Everybody say thanks, Steve. And then my dad's coming by tomorrow. He's going to help me pull the motor out, put the other motor back in, swap some accessory stuff over. I'm expecting that to go fairly seamlessly, but you know how expectations go. They're stupid and you shouldn't have them.
Let's go around the trailer, like on the grass. We'll just put on that back fence.
All right, so we're going back to this voiceover thing. It's a new day, and I'm showing you that it's a new day because the garage door is opening. And just look at that morning light. Anyway, today is a new day. Dad's coming by, and we're going to get the motor out. We're going to get another motor in, and we're going to have some problems doing it. That's my dad. His name's Gary. He never beat me up. There were many times where he probably should have, but kudos to him, he never did. Okay, so here's going to be the most annoying part of the day, or at least for me. This has been the annoying part already. I'm shooting every single bolt that comes off.
This is going in. Oh, it's going in. Well, I gotta see that too.
Okay.
This should realistically be a single day and a long morning, and this project is done. I did like half a day here, half a day there. But I think in total, like work hours, this is probably solidly into day 3. I will say, it is light years nicer being able to do this at home
Yes.
rather than having to drive
Yes.
even 30 minutes somewhere to do it. Because I can come out, put an hour at it, and then be done.
That's what I like. You can come out even for 10 minutes and
Yep.
check something, just do something real quick for
Yep.
15 minutes or get a head start, whatever. Okay. I think you got everything. Okay.
There's a couple of bell housing bolts left.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I need to get the motor mount bolts out still, so I need a little bit of tension off.
Oh, you have the nuts off. Was that
Yes, I'm just
I
gonna
think,
pull the actual bolts.
alternator's in the way?
Of what?
Huh?
Alternator's in the way of what?
The
Oh, like on the cross member?
bolt coming out.
Oh. Copy. So Allen's?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, these are. Yeah, Allen with a backup of 9/16. I got a 9/16. You have the 9/16 now?
If you don't find something, you gotta check my pockets.
Stay away from that. Okay. Check your pockets for 5/8.
Yeah, probably.
I know you got 5/8.
Checker.
Now we got multiple ones.
Oh, you have no idea how disorganized I am.
Jesus.
I put things down on the nearest flat surface and then spend 20 minutes looking for it. Ah, shit. I'm just breaking my own rules right now.
You get a picture of it.
I know. I'm all busy hanging out and stuff.
I thought I'd hear from Kino on Friday. As far as I hear from you.
Yeah. Never mind. Where's that 9/16 at?
9/16.
You.
Oh, daily news, yeah. You're the best way. Ready? I've never seen a brass hammer that small.
Yeah. Bring her up. All right, party people, like it or not, and I hope this is a not like it, but that is going to be about it for this episode. I did get the motor in. I don't have time to edit it all and get this thing posted in a reasonable amount of time. The truck is done. It drives. It's turned around, and that motor is perfectly appropriate for it. It works really well. But don't leave yet. I have a very, hopefully fun surprise. The man, the myth, the legend, David Freiberger has stopped by.
Hey there.
This was at one point his motor,
I'm just
and I've ruined it.
ahead and peeling my sticker off of your panel truck
But why?
right now. I don't know.
You don't want me to rep it? Is this truck not worthy of the David Freiberger sticker?
You want it back?
I don't care.
How about straight this time?
Perfect. Okay, so anyway, this is the Ultimate Average 383. This man had it on Engine Masters for ever?
A long time. This thing has a lot of dyno laps on it. It's Blueprint Engines 383 small block Chevy. What heads are on it now? Oh, it's got the AFR Enforcer 195s. I don't remember what cam's in it. I think it's a 230, 236 comp cams, hydraulic roller, probably with solid lifters on it, unless you changed that. And unfortunately, Mikey P put it in the panel truck and ran it out of oil. Is that what happened?
Okay, so maybe you can help shine a light on this too. It had an oil problem. It was either never filled, which is not possible because we drove to Bakersfield and back, and drove it all around El Mirage. It was filled. It had oil.
Okay.
It was not in the exhaust. It was not on the ground, and it's not in the water.
But it was gone.
Gone. It was down to 0 quarts of oil. I put 5 in it.
Uh-huh.
So, like, it had nothing.
So we're going to cut apart the oil filter and find out if there's bearing material all fragged in there.
Yes, I don't think it should be too bad, but I also don't want to disappoint you too badly, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, don't fail me.
Yeah, okay, too late.
Belt style? Show. Are you rolling?
I'm rolling.
All right, it's not my garage floor, so I'm going to be careful here. I'm
that's
going
nice.
to put a rag down. Here is something I just learned from Mike that he learned from Tony Angelo. This is a Forma funnel, actually called Forma funnel.
They're really good.
I can see it's formafunnel.com. And look, it's all bendy. And then you can stick it under here and make it all like a sluice to send the oil right down in there. So I'm hardly even gonna make a mess. Except for the part where I make a giant mess. Oh, wow, that was barely on. That was,
And we can have the final pig mat that I've commandeered from MotorTrend,
okay.
just in case.
Yeah, pig mat's pretty good. Am I gonna see glittery oil right from the get-go?
I'm really hoping not. It wasn't that bad of a knock developing. That's some dirty oil, though.
That's black.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's a chunk. Oh, no, that's a
really?
bubble. No, a bubble. We got bubble.
Okay.
Bubble's better than chunk.
Yes. But that is remarkably black for, honestly, the 15 miles that have been on this oil change.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
We used to change the oil on this thing every dyno day.
I actually
Or
was thinking
two.
about that. If it is consuming oil, were you guys filling it frequently and not really recognizing that it was getting topped off all the time?
No, we would just change it. We would never check it and fill it. In fact,
Yeah.
I bet it didn't have a dipstick on the dyno. It might have, because Blueprint sends one. There's not a lot of oil in this. That is black.
Yeah, like
That usually means
grotesquely
it's
black.
running it insanely rich, which the exhaust ports
Kind of dictate, yeah.
kind of say, but it's hard to say. They could be whiter. This thing on Engine Master is made 470 horsepower to 475 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque
Good number.
forever. That's why I called it the ultimate average 383. It was just your very typical street combo.
And remind me, it is a roller camshaft with
Solid lifters,
lifters?
on it. So the problem that we had often was that the modern hydraulic lifters would collapse and they would float and they would give us inconsistent dyno results. So we would put solid roller lifters on a hydraulic roller camshaft, and to do that we would just run them at about 2,000 splash.
It was one, but you told me one.
Or one. Yeah. Almost no lash at all. And they would work that way on the ramps of the hydraulic roller lobes and be more consistent. That's probably what you have going on here. But that was also a long time ago. I don't remember what may have changed or what you may have changed. Or...
I changed nothing. I took it off the dyno and put it in the truck.
Okay.
Moment of truth.
All right, engine condition diagnostics engaged. We have our vise here that is not really attached to the table except for with this production
Yeah.
leftover clamp right there. Which is,
Production leftover. That's Home Depot.
okay.
Yeah. $3.99.
You have to clamp the filter kind of tighter than you want and kind of smash it. This right here is a filter cutter. You can get them from Summit Racing. They have them on there. They're
That's what
fairly
it is
cheap.
from Summit Racing.
There you go. Mine's red from Summit Racing, so I wasn't sure. And it's just a big can opener. Remember, the canister of this filter is metal. If you will hold the vise or that. And so you just cut, twist it in. It's just like an old school can opener.
It's like an old school pipe cutter.
Yep. Or a pipe cutter, yeah. All right, let me get...
Now, the key to this filter cutting opening, correct me if I'm wrong, is opening up the pleats of the filter and seeing what's actually inside the creases.
Right. That's what we're going to do.
It should be off.
Yep.
There you go.
On some filters, the actual element will come out with the lid. On others, it's just resting in there. I believe this is going to be a resting in situation. Here you've got like the seal, and here comes the thing. You want to,
Back up a bit.
yeah, screwdriver the can open a little, stretch it like that. Don't cut your finger, all of this is sharp. And here is the actual oil filter element that is filtering your oil.
We get to
The canister is still filled with oil that he is going to catch. Ready?
Yep. Stand by. Get this out of the way.
You got to put that down. And There's no metal in there. Just the
Little
tiniest bit of unconcerning. Whoa.
Oh, careful now.
Yep. Oh, that just ruined my firing order shirt. It's
I think
okay. I've
you've
got
got more.
38 of them. It does have
A little dirty.
a little debris, but it's not.
That's not
bad.
catastrophic.
It's not catastrophic at all. But you're saying it knocks? Okay,
Yeah.
here's a chunk.
Just a little bit.
Look at that chunk.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's chunky.
Yeah, and that's why you want to open up every single little pleat in this thing, because like that has virtually nothing.
Here, let me get in here with a little closer.
Yeah. Here's the pretty chunky one. That one's got some junk in it,
Yeah.
but you'll see if I... That one's got a little bit. Normal. There's a big chunk right there.
Yeah.
That's kind of just dirt. There's kind of almost nothing. See, this is what I was looking at on this other side where I was saying, that's nothing. I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah.
There's a chunk right there, but it's
It's
not
little flakage.
metallic. But then we did run into some areas that were more glittery.
Yeah.
It's got a tiny bit. There's a big chunk.
Yeah.
There's a little glitter.
It's enough that bearing material is coming off of bearings. And
Oh, there's a bad one.
yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah, it's not
It's
focusing.
not focusing in there.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's not that bad, but it's really not that good either.
No, it's not good.
It's bad enough that I'm glad that I pulled it out. It was knocking anyway, so I wasn't going to drive it much regardless. But in
How
the
did you get
future,
all
this
that
bottom end's
crud
going
in
to come
there?
apart.
Is
What's
that my fault or yours?
Oh, the RTV?
No, just all that dirt.
I don't know. I'm going to say it's yours in that
Okay.
closed environment you were doing inside of a dyno cell.
Yeah.
That's probably what
It's
it
probably
was.
me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the
Rebury
bad
the
one.
bottom.
I
Oh,
just
yeah.
found the bad one.
Can we see it any better?
I don't think
Not really.
the phone will go
Here,
closer
that
with
is
macro.
definitely- Here, let me bring this over here and see if these fine folks. I'll get an answer to that later. But yeah. Yeah. Can it cut out? Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm glad it came out. I'm glad I took it out. I'm glad it happened. But, you know, shit happens, I guess. What do you do?
You pop the heads off, you pop the rods out, you're probably going to have to emery cloth the crank.
Yep.
And yeah, there's going to be metal like that all in the oil galleries and everything.
Cam bearings and all. So it's not like
Cam bearings
necessarily.
are fine.
It's not necessarily a full rebuild, but it's a take it all apart.
Yeah.
Ideally, I mean, in a perfect world, we don't have any gouges on cylinder walls because it had no oil, so there's a chance of scratching.
Lower your standards. Yep. So I'm going to come over in the future and help you take that engine apart and clean it up and put it back together and figure out why it's rod knocking.
I will take the help. My channel or yours?
Oh, well, yours, of course.
Look
This
at
is
that.
Saturday Garage. It's only going to take us a day.
That's what I'm talking about. Everything's going to take a day, always. Thank you for coming by. Thank you guys for coming by. Please do like and subscribe and share and turn on notifications because I don't know how frequently I'm going to be able to post. As often as I can get them up, I'm going to, but if you have notifications on, you will find out when that happens. Please do spread the word, spread the love. I'm trying to make something out of this and would love for it to turn into something. I want to keep playing with cars. I would love to do it as a profession. This guy got me into doing this as a profession. I'm grateful.
No, you were working for Richard Rawlings before me.
I was never working for Richard Rawlings. I was working around Richard Rawlings. I worked for others. Whatever. Whatever. It was a great 7 years. That MotorTrend run is over, but this is the new chapter. This is what I'm doing now.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Thank you guys for joining. Like, subscribe. The David Freiberger channel on YouTube.
Me too. Yep.
And what on Instagram?
David Freiberger.
As
Imagine that.
As if anybody watching this isn't already following you.
Well, probably.
Make sure to take my endorsement of this guy. All right, that's all. Thank you. I'll see you next week. I'm walking away. You want to walk away?
Yeah.